3 Signs of Lack of Love in Children. Tom Robbins says that it's never too late to have a good childhood. But it is important that when we see signs of a lack of love in children, these gaps must be addressed. This is because no child deserves to be in constant need of the food that nourishes their emotional well-being, love. Well, what signs should we look for? How do we know a child is experiencing a lack of love? Below we will touch on some signs that can show this unconstructive and unwanted situation. Let's look at them. The need to avoid lack of love in children. Adequate psychological development in children requires love. That is, all the love given to a child in its childhood is reflected in its development. In this way, it will gain a clear identity and self-confidence over the years. Now, don't confuse love with excessive love or care for a child. We are talking about love, your attachment to your children, your sincere approach, and of course your intention to create a healthy and well-rounded relationship with them. A child will develop a strong personality when given enough love. Its experiences with love will help it integrate into society, find a reference point, and learn to adapt in different situations. On the other hand, love will make the child learn what to expect from the outside world. This is why we say that this is the point of reference for children in interaction with them and relation to others. The best way to make children good is to make them happy. Oscar Wilde. Signs of lack of love in children. Signs of a lack of love in children tend to indicate a problem with the relationship between the children and their parents. The problem tends to be somewhat deeper. In general, this may be due to parents' ignorance of their child's needs. This can cause all kinds of problems during a child's development. For example, these children may develop conflict or aggressive behavior, or may experience strong feelings of insecurity or mistrust. That is why it is so important to know the following signs of lack of love in children. Lack of emotional control. This is an important sign that is very common in children with emotional damage. The children learn little by little how to manage their emotions through love and interpersonal relationships with the people close to them. If a child is in an environment with poor care, he may have difficulty recognizing not only emotions, but also social norms. In this way, it will not be able to know how to behave with others. Additionally, it may not be able to identify other people's feelings and what they relate to, whether negative or positive. For this reason, it can show a great lack of empathy, which can cause all kinds of conflict and anger. So these children are much more vulnerable, even if they hold in their feelings. Boys usually experience this problem more than girls. The former tend to show strength and to suppress their emotions. Therefore, if we feel that our child may suffer from this problem, we must focus on improving our relationship with them. Isolation, conflict. Other signs of a lack of love in children are the kind of relationships they establish with others. If they tend to be dominated by conflict, or if it is absolutely non-existent, there is clearly a problem. It is very common for a child with emotional instability to show a lack of social skills. This can lead to isolation, conflict, with their lack of knowledge for the formation of good social skills. On the other hand, children with these problems show a lack of respect for the feelings of others. This reinforces their frustration, lack of understanding for others, and anger at the world. Uncertainty. Finally, children who lack love often have a great sense of insecurity. This is because they have not achieved the optimal development where they create an appropriate self-concept. This uncertainty is demonstrated by very specific behavior. For example, they tend to defend themselves, avoiding difficult situations, withdrawing and isolating themselves, or directly trying to control or create conflict. We are all products of our childhood. Michael Jackson. As we can see, the lack of love in childhood can have all kinds of negative consequences. If you feel that your child, or any other child, has any of these symptoms, it is important that you try to connect with their feelings and show them that you are concerned about their welfare.